Good morning, everybody. GM. Welcome to Money Monday. Awesome. Great to see everybody. Excelente. GM. Generous mindset. GM. Good morning. Getting some money. Good morning. Okay. Let's go. See on my countdown timer here. 73 days, 47 minutes. We're into the 72-day mark. Count it down, folks. 10 weeks. 10 weeks. Now, some of you haven't been to E3 before, and it's going to be a blast for you. Some of you that came last time, you know what it was, and we've made it better. Made some improvements, expanded the place, and anyway, you should plan on being there. We've also dropped the price. It was, if you remember, 400, like 385, something like that, almost $400 for attendance. But now we've dropped it to 200 and expanded it. So we're selling more tickets. But now we do have the VIP option, which wasn't there last time. So people are feeling like a VIP. So sell them a VIP ticket, get them to we'll stop this. Get them to the private lunches, get them to see the benefits being in the program, and then you too could practically write your own check. I'm telling you, don't leave it to chance. Construct it, write it, use it. Okay, quote of the day. This is a great one. Ken Blanchard says, "None of us is as smart as all of us." So we all need to be working together, bringing our best ideas. Make sure we're assigning some co-hosts here. Okay, I got something else to show you guys too. Excited about today's topic. There we go. Oh, I also put in the chat too, if you guys are interested in coming to a mini workshop genius course with me and Cosimo. It's this Thursday, 4 to 6. I know you guys in Utah have some stuff at 6:30 and 7. So there will be one on a Wednesday towards the end of the month. But yeah, the main focus is on, well, actually, let's talk about that. What is the main focus on? Because everyone's goals are a little bit different. If you have an immediate money need, you need 15, 20 grand like in the next 2 weeks, your main focus isn't E3 because that's 10 weeks away. You need something now. So it would be, well, depends on the market you're in. If you're in Utah, New York, Phoenix, Chicago, Miami, your main focus should be the next event, whatever that is. House tour, cash flow game, epic. Going to be on the next event as your main focus. Okay, GM, welcome everybody. All right, joining now. Boom. Tim, Scott, Rosa, good to see you. Mehelai. Lester, Jeff, JL's in the house. GM to you. Emily, Freddie, and Ashley. Awesome. Carla, Jasmine, Steve, Ben. Bill Winkler's in the house. GM to you, Bill. Deborah, Doug. Okay, let's get this thing loaded here. I've been talking about it for a while, but it's time for a new laptop. I've got a lot of tabs open. Close this program. Microsoft updates trying to happen. No, thank you. Close down this. But definitely keep this open because I want to show you guys. Okay, let's go through this real quick. Here we are, August 13th. We got some online stuff, finding the deals, lots of Zoom stuff, some in-person stuff. Let me refresh this. To make sure that the person is having the most well-designed experience as they go through learning who we are and what we have to offer. Clarity is power. Making sure you're clear on what to expect at the event. Okay. I think one of the biggest, how should I say this? One of the biggest missteps on this topic is people calling the house tour a networking event. It's not. It's a house tour where you can network. But if you call it a networking event and people have gone to the networking circuit in their city, what we do at a house tour or what we do at a Super Saturday is not a networking event. What ISN does, that 30 minutes prior to their weekly event, that's a networking event. But after that, it turns into a workshop. So what we mean by that is called setting proper expectations. So we have a lot of choices. Game night with Kendallstock in Idaho Falls. Okay. I have probably made a I could say I've made $1 million from cash flow games, hosting, attending, running, building into, helping set up and tear down cash flow games. I love seeing it. Gregory's got one. Where's Greg out of? Chicago? Got one on a Sunday. There we go. Chicago. Awesome. Anyway, cash flow game night. When I tell people it's cash flow game night, I don't tell them networking event. One thing I do tell them is it's an investing simulator board game. I don't think they can misunderstand me when I say that, because we want to build a relationship of trust. We need to make sure that the guest sees that what we say, what they experience, is in alignment. So that when we say, "Give me 25 grand," you're going to get this training, that it's in alignment. You get your commission, they get the product, the training, the coaching, everything that they need to start their new path. And it's an uphill battle if you say this is a networking event and it's an intensive. An intensive is a workshop. People love to network. I want networking to happen, but we got to set up the proper expectation. Setting proper expectation. When I tell someone it's a Super Saturday, I don't tell them it's a real estate workshop. Do not. You will set the wrong expectation. On Super Saturday, I tell them it's learn how to build a six-figure business from home. That's what we do at Super Saturday. Learn how to build a six-figure business working from home. And the beautiful thing about Super Saturday's design is it's the same skills for marketing and for real estate. You need to be able to find people, tell a story, build for events, follow up, ask for the order, and book a meeting from a meeting. You need to be able to do that stuff. So at Super Saturday, it's taught in the context of marketing, but it's the same skills as real estate. I love guests coming to Super Saturday. That's where they see, oh, I could refer 5 people, make my money back before I ever even do a deal, because doing deals is a little scary, right? Signing on the dotted line, raising a bunch of capital, bunch of stamps everywhere. There's people with licenses. You don't have a license. You're taking on all this debt. They're taking a commission. It's a little crazy. And for some of you, your deal might not come for a year or two. Maybe you're doing a land deal or a commercial deal or a new build, or you're trying to buy a mobile home park or do a glamping site. Like those deals aren't as common as a wholesale or a lease option, right? So some of you, you're gonna be doing deals. Your deals are gonna be, you might do 3 deals in 5 years, but you'll get out of the rat race with the right 3 deals. In the meantime, build for Super Saturdays. Bring a guest to Super Saturday. Let them see how the company's designed. If they don't like it, no big deal. I got plenty of people who buy just for the education, but a ton more buy because they saw the legitimacy behind the marketing. When people can see the numbers, I think that's one of the biggest selling points about Renatus to a new person is transparency. You see the marketing branch, you see the product, you see the whole thing. There's no wondering in the background who's taking home the big checks. No, it's decentralized. It's one of our favorite things about the program is transparency. Everyone can see. So anyway, we got a ton of events to build for. When I'm harping on the E3 event coming in X many days is because some people have they fish a different way, right? They go from workshop to workshop. When I first got started and I needed the money ASAP and wanted to build a 500-person team, I just used every event in front of me. Every event in front of me, depending on the guest's schedule, is what I put them into, and I just followed up like there was a 3-day pay or vacate taped to my door. Now, luckily, that's never happened, and I think it's because I never took a break. But I worked like that. It depends on what kind of motivation you need. Some people need a stick. Some people need a carrot. Build for the next event. All right, next thing. Self-confidence formula by Napoleon Hill. He is one of the best scientists of the last 100 years, working on the philosophy of personal achievement. From his 30-something years of study, he has put together that one of the things that separates the achievers from the dreamers is self-confidence, and it can be developed as a formula, using a formula, formulaically. Okay, so if you don't already know this by heart, that you could say it verbatim in the middle of the night. If I wake you from a deep sleep, then we should practice this. All right, self-confidence. Here we go. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here now promise to render such action. This is a promise. Second, I understand that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. GM to that. Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, right? Self-hypnosis, said another way. Any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the position or object I desire. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Case in point, read the damn paper. Here we are. Fourth, I've clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim, and I will always work until I develop sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. What is your definite chief aim? Make one now. If you are not driving, then you need to make one now. It can change and get refined and get clear over time. But if you are like, well, I'll get a definite chief aim, you know, three Tuesdays from next week. Come on. You need your definite chief aim and you need it now. Like I said, modify it as time goes on, but if you don't have one, you're a rudderless ship floating in the night, doomed to failure. Fifth, I fully realize that wealth or position can long endure when built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will only engage in transactions that will benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. That's literally building a team, right? Let's go. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve them. I've eliminated hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism, and I've developed a love for humanity, for all humanity. For I know that a positive attitude towards others will always bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. That's the other neat thing here. When you believe in your new client, your new student, your new customer, when you believe in them way more than anyone else has believed that they can achieve something, they reciprocate that belief back to you, and it becomes this amazing self-fulfilling cycle of achievement. I will sign my name to this formula, committed to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions, so I will become a self-reliant, not a government-reliant, company-reliant, self-reliant and successful person. GM to that. All right, so the other thing that I put together after digging through some of his work, I found another one of his books that he wrote in 1929. Okay. If you've read Atlas Shrugged, anyone read that book by Ayn Rand? It's like 1,100 pages, enormous book.
Very
Okay.
great book. Very good
It's a
book.
great book, but it's a big book.
But
The
it's in small
Laws of
chapters.
Success that Napoleon Hill wrote is about five Atlas Shrugged books. Like it's a foot, if it sat on your desk, it'd be a foot tall of books. It was 16 volumes. And anyway, I've gone through it a couple times, and one thing I pulled out of it was this initiative and leadership declaration. It's easy to adopt. Just do it. One of the reasons why I say it's easy is because there's no competition. The last 30 years or so, of people, the hypnotic devices that are in their houses and in their hands has destroyed initiative and leadership. So you have practically zero competition if you just step up a teeny bit, a teeny step. Now, that's kind of a shame to say because, giant steps, bring communities and ultimately humanity to another level. But regardless, what is lacking, a huge thing, a huge problem you can solve, something of a void to be filled is initiative and leadership. So there's this little statement here. Now, again, you need to have a definite chief aim. Okay. Gotta have a definite chief aim. If it isn't around money, that's totally fine. But one easy thing that he keeps suggesting over and over is tie something to money because you can count the money step by step by step by step. You can count and see, is it working? Are you on track? So it's not that money's most important. In fact, in the 13 riches that he wrote down, there's 12 other things of riches more important than money. Money's number 13, right? Financial money. But there are 12 other riches. But he keeps pointing out that money is universal. We can count it. It's an easy scorekeeper to see how you're doing. So although it has a lot of emphasis in the scorekeeping, it is not the most important thing overall. So get your definite chief aim. I think $5 million is a good goal. 5 million net worth in a 10-year period. Used to be 1 million, but with how much money they're printing these days, 1 million isn't that much money anymore. 5 million, 10 years from now. If you don't have a definite chief aim, you can insert that one in the blank. One of my other chief aims that's not financial is building a massive food forest, permanent food system that will last for centuries. I build it once, takes care of itself. It'll take me about 10 years of work crafting of my own grocery store, so to speak, and then teaching others to do that. But that falls in line with what I'm doing here at Renatus, which is it's literally the same elements. If I were to draw it out on the whiteboard, all the elements to make your sustainable food forest is the same as making your sustainable wealth with your insurance, your taxes, your credit, your retirement accounts, your negotiation skills, your timing, building up your own bank, all these different elements, they overlap in such a beautiful way. And big shout out to Michael White, who helped me see that. I didn't see it before, but he helped me see that, and it really boosted both areas. Anyway, it's because of having a definite chief aim that he even came into my life, because I had nothing else in common with him. But then things started to overlap. When you get clear in your definite chief aim, you become a much more powerful magnet. Okay, let's go. Having chosen a definite chief aim in my life, as my life work, I now understand it to be my duty to transform this purpose into reality. Therefore, I will form the habit of taking some definite action each day that will carry me one step nearer the attainment of my definite chief aim. I know that procrastination is a deadly enemy of all who would become leaders in any undertaking, and I will eliminate this habit from my makeup by A, doing some one definite thing each day that ought to be done without anyone telling me to do it. B, looking around until I find at least one thing that I can do each day that I've not been in the habit of doing and will be of value to others without expectation of pay. C, telling at least one other person each day of the value of practicing the habit of doing something that ought to be done without being told to do it. I can see that the muscles of the body become strong in proportion to the extent to which they are used. Therefore, I understand that the habit of initiative also becomes fixed in proportion to the extent that it is practiced. I realize that the place to begin developing the habit of initiative is in the small, commonplace things connected with my daily work. Therefore, I will go to my work each day as if I were doing it solely for the purpose of developing the necessary habit of initiative. I understand that by practicing this habit of taking the initiative in connection with my daily work, I will not only develop the habit, but I will also be attracting the attention of those who will place greater value on my services as a result of this practice. That's how you get rich. That is how. That's what my shirt, excuse me, that's what my shirt is about. The 5 steps. Find the people, tell the story, build for events, follow up, and teach, to duplicate, to do it over and over. Okay, so believe it or not, I took forever to talk about it, but it's only 7 paragraphs. It's not very long at all. And I should be able to just drop a link to this document. Let me move this out of my way here. Let's go over to share. Copy link. View only. Loading link. I think that last line is how you could directly measure your work as a marketer. Think about this. I will be attracting the attention. That's finding customers, right? Who will place a greater value on my services as a result of this practice. If what our service is to Snyder, to the company, our service as independent marketing affiliates, right, as independent contracted marketers, our job is to tell customers to go to him, to go to his company. Our job is to speak, right? Our job is to guide, to endorse, to help make clear what it is that he offers. If you have the habit of initiative and leadership, then when you say this program is great and people see that you have the habit of doing good things, of being a leader, being someone who does things without expectation of pay, who does things that ought to be done without being told to do it. If you're one of those people and then you say, Renatus rocks, Go get a credit card if you don't have the money. But Renatus rocks. Go sign up. Let's go. You can start making 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month. If you haven't done 50 grand a year, start with 50 grand a month. If you've already done your 100 grand a year, let's bump it up. 100 grand a month. So some of you, your focus will be on the very next event, that next house tour that some ICM has put together and put a lot of time, effort, and energy into for you to also use, or a cash flow game. Maybe it's a super Saturday or an intensive. The accelerators come around every 90 days, so we just had one, but pay attention to those. We got the camp out coming up. That's a good reminder. Then, of course, E3. These come up every 180 days. So while building for the small events, keep the big ones in mind. Have 100 people at this event. You walk away with $250,000 that weekend. 100 people are there, and you get 20 of them to buy the combo, which Bob's going to make an irresistible offer that will create urgency, so people have to buy quickly. And so if you put them in the room, they take advantage of the offer. Guys, I saw it happen at the last one. I saw people making 20, 30 grand, 40 grand from the weekend. I think Mitch Nelson, Nate Lambert, and who else? Denisha Christensen, Mary Setta. These people are having double-digit numbers in the rooms and walked away instead of spending money on the weekend. They got paid at the weekend, and now they got students and they got friends to work with and play with and build with. Cool. It's working. It's working. Right. Just seeing the chats here. All right. So it's called the self-confidence formula, Aubrey. And then the other one is about auto-suggestion for taking initiative and leadership. So someone click on that link I just put in the chat and tell me if it pulls up the document for them. Scott, yeah, let me know if that works. Yeah, buddy. Sweet. Okay, so the book was called The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. Laws of Success. I think in the they made a condensed version on Audible, and it's like 25 hours. Amazing stuff. And this was stuff that the sooner we learn it, the better our lives get. And, you know, learn it so you can teach it to some kids too. Learning that, what do they say? Better late than never, but never late is better. Okay. The other thing I wanted to go over, but we will have room for questions. But I'm going to switch to the whiteboard and just review the comp plan. Because every one of you who has a job, you know the comp plan at the company you work for. But every once in a while, I meet people who don't know the comp plan here, and then they don't know what they're working for. They're like, Michael, I hear you say work and do this and do that, but what do I get again? So I'm happy to go over the comp plan. I love it. It's the best comp plan. Value for value, time for effort, the success creation, transfer. Like it's just nothing compares. So let's go. So I'm going to pull up the iPad whiteboard here, and we'll start playing a few drawings of that. But questions. Who has a question? You can type it in the chat. Come off of mute. Okay.
I just looked it up on Audible. They have the laws of success, but also the laws of success in 16 lessons. Have you seen that one?
That's the one. Yep.
The 16 lessons?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'll get that one. It's
All
on
right,
Audible.
buddy. Okay. Well, let's jump into the comp plan then. 811-625-4200. Okay. Yes. Yes. Plan. Here we go. Share screen. No questions? It's working? Good. If something comes to your mind, just type it in the chat. We'll get to it. Or you can come off mute if you're not in a spot where your typing makes sense. GM.
The book's about 23 hours long, about half of one Wheel of Time books. So not that bad.
Awesome. Okay. Comp plan. Everything has a comp plan. The job you work at has a comp plan. The Social Security has a comp plan. This has a comp plan. Everyone's wondering what's the comp plan, right? Even a garden has a comp plan. Put in some sweat, intelligent watering, and a good timing of the season, you'll be compensated. Comp plan. There's a compensation plan everywhere. Okay. So let's get clear on that. We have the best comp plan. When we have that core belief, remember we were talking last time, one of the core beliefs is that Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country. It's because half of the wealth cycle has to do with Renatus' comp plan. Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country. So we're going to teach you how to buy discounted real estate. Okay. I'm putting a percent to mean discount. If there's another symbol that means discount, let me know. But in my brain, that's that. Discounts on property, discounted money on property, and building a network of customers and clients that want to do deals with you, and you get paid to help train them. It's like a vortex of money over here, because we're going to keep the value flowing. And by following things that are taught in Think and Grow Rich, laws of success, from the, who you're being type of business owner, and then you jump into the Renatus classes for the very technical, how to do transaction A, B, C. You get this beautiful combination of real estate and marketing that has the same skill set combined. This whole thing is called the Renatus wealth cycle. Renatus wealth cycle. And if you keep your ears peeled open, keep your eyeballs peeled open, and you're paying attention to what's around you, and you have your definite chief aim, your ears will be open. That's one of the benefits of having a DCA, a definite chief aim, is things become in tune. I was explaining to my boy the radio yesterday, actually. We were going on a little road trip, and normally I got some audiobook or something we're listening to on the phone, crystal clear. And I was like, one of the boys pointed out a tower, and I was like, dude, that's a radio tower. Let's switch over to the radio and staticky static. And I'm like, how do I explain to a 5-year-old static coming through the speakers when all he's ever heard is crystal clear MP3s, Got the walkie-talkies out, started explaining waves and stuff to him. But anyway, this is like what you think is music right now is so much static, but you're calling it clear. As soon as you get your DCA, your definite chief aim, you will have HD quality audio of when you listen to someone's conversation, or you're at the gym and you overhear someone say something, or you bump into this, or you're at the gas station and someone makes eye contact, you get that little voice that says, hey, say that thing. That's that clarity, that clear signal that you only get when you have a DCA. Otherwise, you're just wandering around and no one can pick up on your signal either. Get your definite chief aim. Okay, so the Renatus well cycle will supercharge your money. The other thing that is a big benefit to this is that it's a skill development system. Okay, you need the same skills in your real estate game as you do in your marketing game. And what are those skills? Find the people, tell the story, tell your story, tell the CEO story, tell the company story, tell your 5-star story, tell your pack number story, tell your neighbor story, but tell a story. Build for events. That's what I was saying earlier. Depends on which events you're building for. But, build for all of them. Build for the local, frequent ones, and then build for the large national ones. And then the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I heard it so much that it just become natural to me, but I only heard it so much because people kept saying it, and I needed to say it way more than I've been saying it. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, that's where the fortune is. It's not in building for events. It's not in finding leads. It's not in creating amazing email chains. It's in the follow-up. It's in the follow-up. It's in the follow-up. Fortune is in the follow-up. Okay, and then it's AFTO and a BAM fam. You need to be able to do these in your real estate business and in your marketing business. AFTO means ask for the order, and a BAM fam, ask for the order. Do you want to buy? Or that means submit your offer. Right? Do you want to take my money? I'll take your house. But it's ask for the order. AFTO. And then a BAM fam is always book a meeting from a meeting, which in principle means I will not accept an answer of I'll get back to you. No, there's no spot on my calendar to fill in a he'll get back to me. I need to know what day and time. I will put it on my calendar. That is always book a meeting from a meeting. Don't let someone get back to you. I'll reach back out. No, when, dude? I got this, and I got this. Yeah, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, or Thursday at lunch. But always, always book a meeting from a meeting. If you don't do that, you will probably make 10% of what you could be making with the level of activity you put in when you went to find the people, tell a story, build for events, follow up. You get right to here and you ask for the order, and then they say, I'll get back to you. And you did all of this work. You did 99% of the work. But if you don't keep the meetings going until you get an actual answer and always book that meeting, you're going to get zero pay. You only get 100% pay for 100% work. As it should be. It's how you pay your contractors too, right? You don't get the window contractor and he puts up 80% of the windows and you give him 80% of the money. You say, no, 100% of the windows, 100% of the money. If it's not 100% of the windows, it's 0% of the money until all of the windows are in to my satisfaction. 100% work, 100% pay. If you don't do that, chances are you're going to get scammed at least one point in your career. So just follow this rule: 100% work for 100% pay. It's a success principle, and it's also a risk hedge. Okay, so anyway, if you are not good at these things, finding the people, telling the story, building for events, following up, asking for the order, and booking appointments, you must attend every Super Saturday. Until you make $100,000 in a month. Every Super Saturday, we build on these skills. Super Saturday could be called Skill Saturday. Super Saturday. Okay. So the comp plan will be taught in detail on Super Saturdays. For a while, I was going to 2 Super Saturdays a month. I'd go to one in Salt Lake City, which was on the second Saturday of the month, and then I'd go to one in Denver, which was on the third Saturday of the month. And then once in a while, I would log on to the Chicago Super Saturday, which was the first Saturday of the month. So, sometimes in a year, I'd go to 20 or 30 Super Saturdays. But if you just go to 10 in a year, because chances are the one in March will be the E3 Super Saturday replacement, but maybe not. Depends on your market. But guys, it's skill development that's going to change everything for you. Okay, now let's talk real quick. The goal of the comp plan is in 3 phases. There's earn 5-star, there's be 5-star, and then there's create 5-star. So in the earn 5-star, that's probably what you've seen the most, right? There's this stair step and ladder where you got to generate 50,000 in commission, generate 50K in commission, and you become, you start out as a 0-star, then a 1-star, then a 3-star, and then you finally hit your 5-star by generating 50K in sales. One way, it doesn't have to be this way, but it's a combination of things. It could be 50 essential sales. It could be 5 EPX sales, or some combination thereof. Obviously, 5 EPX sales generate 60,000. So you would pass that 50,000 on your 5th sale, and then get an extra 10K bonus. But in earning your 5-star, you're going to generate for yourself, you're going to earn $27,000. Okay, but that's just step 1. And sometimes talking about it, we talk about step 1 so much that people they stop on step 1. And they're like, I made it. I'm now a 5-star. But guys, there's step 2, which is be a 5-star. And being a 5-star means you're going to earn $1,080 for every essentials. and you're going to earn $12,000 for every EPX. So you write your own check. Right? This is the ultimate be your own boss. You don't want to work? You don't have to. You earned your 5-star. You still got to pay your 197 a year. But hey, you're 5-star. Go for it. Turn it on, turn it off. Right? You want to make $1,000 a month for 11 months and then make $70,000 the last month because you just sold 6 of these? It's up to you. That's boss mode right there. While you're earning that 50,000 to become the 5-star, you're not earning that whole 50, but you're generating the 50, right? That's the key description here is you're generating it. Whereas over here, the 27,000, you're earning it. Okay, that's what's getting paid to you. I know I've overheard a couple people's strategies is they're going to be selling a bunch of essentials between now and E3, then get all those essential students at the conference, then they see the offer, and then they all upgrade from their essentials to their EPX, and you get, a $10,000 upgrade commission if you're a 5-star. If you're not a 5-star, you'll get some percentage of that between $4,000 and $10,000. So still a very healthy percentage for sure. Okay, then the last one is create a 5-star or multiple. In fact, there is an award that's given out at the different award ceremonies and functions around the Renatus world for creating 5-stars. And essentially, it's the opposite version of, not the opposite, the inverse of earning the 5-star. So you got a new person who comes on board and they got to go through that 0-star, 1-star, 3-star, and 5-star status. So they're earning that money along the way, right? They're earning the 27. But remember that 50,000 that was generated? Oh, you're right, Bruce. I carried a 1. It's 23,000 here. 23,000. And this down here, by creating a 5-star, if 23,000 went to the new guy, 27 goes to you. If you're already 5-star and you bring in a new person who has to go on this 5-star path, you are going to get 27,000. They're going to get 23,000. And then they're going to branch off, right? Because then they get to be, they're going to be the 5-star. So they're going to go off being a 5-star under you. And every time they sell their own EPX, and they're going to get $12,000 for an EPX sale, the company will send you an additional $1,200. That's called an override. And the override is one of the parts of the comp plan for helping to create a 5-star. You go help them create a 5-star and go be productive. They're going to go write their own check in life. That's what we just talked about. When you are a 5-star, but the person who helped you become that, who introduced you to the company, helped you go from 0 to 5-star, every time someone on your team now goes out and makes an EPX sale, you get a $1,200 override. This is one reason why initiative and leadership is so highly coveted and compensated, because to help create 5-stars, Sometimes you have to do things without being told to do them. Going back to that document that I shared with you in the chat. It's all connected, folks. So, like I was saying earlier, there's 3 stages of the goal. Earn your 5-star, be a 5-star, then help create 5 stars. And this thing right here can go to infinity. Infinity wide, I guess, to specify. And 3 deep. So you get 3 levels of overrides. Okay. That is it for me for today. That is all I have time for. 1, 2, 3. But let's get after it. Go develop those skills. Go to your Super Saturdays. Be involved in the active building of your life by design. Getting that definite chief aim in your mind, everything else around it will fall into place for you. But if you feel frazzled over here with your exercise and frazzled over here with your eating and over here with your family time, and you're trying to do all the stuff, you're missing a definite chief aim. So there's that for you. GM, GBA, and got to go. There's that link to the self-confidence formula and the initiative and leadership doc. Put it in the chat one more time. So grab it, copy, paste it. At the very least, you could screenshot it and type it into your browser later. Awesome. Happy to help. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Doug, Aubrey, Scott, Eric, Gilda, everybody. Okay. Appreciate you all. Share that love forward to the next round of new students. Take care of them if they get lost. Show them where to be. Help them understand this is the best place to learn real estate, marketing, and business development. Okay. Have a great day, guys. See you soon. Bye for now.